In this quick off-the-cuff video, I'm going to give you some of my personal experiences and opinions on this SilverFire Hunter Stove that I first reviewed over 6 years ago. Hey guys, it's been several years since I bought this SilverFire Hunter Stove, and I just wanted to kind of give you an update on what my thoughts are on it. It's kind of a mixed bag, and I just kind of wanted to spark some discussion, and I'm fully willing to accept responsibility for the performance of this thing, but I'm not super sold on this. I think it's a unique design. I think that the top lit updraft design is good and efficient and all of that, but it has some serious drawbacks. Number one, I think it was Engineer 775 that mentioned that you could use this indoors. I'll show you some footage here in a minute of why that would be a bad idea. Most of the exhaust goes out the pipe, but there's still a significant amount that comes out the stove itself. And again, that may be something I'm doing wrong, but this is dried wood that I'm using. It is not living or recently living wood, and so I'm kind of at a loss. And in my opinion, quite frankly, if it has to have an extensive manual or requires a physics degree and thermodynamics to understand how to burn this properly and get it to work properly, then it's not a great consumer product. But that's just my opinion. The things I like about it, it is compact for what it can do anyways. It can fold up. All of these sections come apart and then they kind of nest together, and you can poke it down inside there. And it's got handles on the side, as you can see, so it makes it pretty portable and easy to move around. I do like that it can cook in a very small footprint with a very small amount of fuel, biomass. And I do like how the exhaust isn't really that hot, like you're not going to burn yourself or anything. So you could easily poke that up through the top of a tent or something like that if you can handle the smoke, because as you can see, it is definitely smoking from the inside. I do like how efficient it is and the way that it can burn the gas that it produces and really come out clean. However, I just can't get it to that point very often. And you'll notice, I've seen videos of it, and I've seen this do it kind of on accident myself a few times, where the blue flame is kind of really rolling in from the sides and really getting that kind of gasification effect. It's doing it a little bit right now, but not nearly enough. And again, it's probably something I'm doing wrong, but that's okay. Here you can kind of see that rolling flame from the sides. It's not blue, it's not super duper hot, but it is getting that double burn effect. It's burning that gases from the wood. So that's good, and I like that when you get to that point, but it's kind of difficult, at least for me, to get to that point. It'll eventually get there, but it takes time and it takes trial and error. Same with starting it. It usually takes me 20 minutes to get this thing started for good. It'll start and then go out and then start and then go out, and again, probably my fault, but it's definitely not a beginner stove. It's something that would take dedication to learn all the tips and tricks and how to get it to work just right. And that leads into the negative. It produces smoke inside where it's not supposed to. It is incredibly difficult, at least for me, to get this thing started. You do have to put the fuel in from the top, kind of in a TP the best that you can, and then you have to somehow, snake a lighter down in there, or put some kindling down in there and drop a match, or however you're going to do it. It is not easy to do. Rocket stoves where you put the fuel in from the bottom are much easier to light. This one is much more difficult, and that same design element, if you've got something on top of here and you're cooking, like I did on this recent camp out I went on, you can't put any more fuel into it unless you remove what you're cooking, put in more fuel, and stoke the fire and all that stuff, which kind of hurts the cooking process. And by extension, you don't really know what's going on inside. You can't really see. Even if you looked in there, you can't see because it's underneath the flame. You can't see what's going on. You can't see how much fuel you've got left or any of that. So you have to take, again, you have to take what you're cooking off of the top and check on how hot it is and what's going on inside, how much fuel you have left, all that sort of thing. So it's just, I guess, a limitation of the design, not necessarily SilverFire's fault, but just kind of the overall design itself is that it's difficult to check on the inside because you can't see in there. Overall, I'm not dissatisfied with my purchase, but it's definitely not exactly what I thought it was when I bought it, and so I'm kind of, you know, giving it a half good, half bad review. Part of that's on me, but you know, I listened to some other people, like I said, Engineer 775 and some other folks that were really high on this, and didn't really look elsewhere or do a lot of other research beyond that. So it's kind of my fault, but this isn't something that I can use very often due to those limitations. Can't use it indoors. It's really only a camping stove as far as what I'm concerned with, and an emergency prep that I can kind of keep in my shed, and if I ever had to cook with twigs, then I could do it, but it's definitely not something I want to ever do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And that does it for my thoughts 6 years later. If you agree, disagree, or want to point out what I'm doing wrong, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.